You literally hit it. God.
Oh, hi everybody. Welcome
No,
to
man. Okay.
episode 44 of On the Backcast. Oh my gosh, where we talk things pageant yards and make
Will got
random.
attacked by something.
What? Okay, what happened?
Dude, I don't. They got military grade fireworks out here. You see, it's not even dark. I told you, it don't even get dark until like 10 or 11. This is
crazy.
ridiculous.
I noticed that last week when we were recording. I was like, "Is this still daylight out there?" Like,
yes. Right.
Well, that's like Chris and them. They're in Norway, obviously, and his wife sent me a Snapchat, and it was like 11 p.m. Still bright as hell outside. I'm like, that's weird. It's weird.
I mean, I guess you could get a lot done, but
yeah,
I mean, we complain about daylight savings.
Right.
Listen, imagine having band camp and having 16 hours, or however many hours of daylight.
Oh, we wouldn't go. We wouldn't start until 1 p.m.
Absolutely no.
Because that sun gonna come up right around 4. No joke.
I mean, there'd probably be groups that'd be out there the whole sunlight time.
Yep.
Like, we're gonna learn the show today.
We're gonna learn till the sun go down. No.
But it's not going to.
It's never going down. I told people, I was like, you get a solid 3 hours of nighttime. Some bull. Sounded like a whole truck exploded or something.
The whole firework tent done blew up at once.
Yeah,
what happened?
Tis the season, that's for sure.
Oh, America!
They gonna bomb too, bro.
Yeah, so by the time this comes out, hopefully you guys have went to a 4th of July parade and were safe and still got all your fingers and your eyebrows. Because people forget about, just general safety when it comes to fireworks and things of that nature.
That's true. That's true.
So hopefully everybody was safe, had a good 4th of July and all that good stuff. But you know what? We got drum corps, fellas.
That's right.
Do we?
We got drum corps. And it was a week of drum corps that we just had that has gotten off to a really strong start. I'm very pleased with everything that I'm seeing.
And there's a lot to see, let me tell you.
It's a lot to see. We're not going to bust down scores like we typically do. Typically we just go down each show and read off the scores and do that nature. We're going to kind of skip that. Now, if you like that and you want us to do some of that, we can do that. Just tell us in the comments and we can do that. But I think we found last year we would go through scores and then it'd be 45 minutes into the podcast. And we're trying to cram everything that we want to get in like 15 or 20 minutes in.
Yeah.
So trying a different format, but like I said, and we may do at least a one to watch or something like that, or we may comparison scores, but we're not going to go super, sports center. You can go to DCI.org. They got scores. There are several Twitter groups that are posting scores.
3 of them
doing the Lord's work.
Yeah, and placing it up there. So there's lots of places you can find it. But if you want to find it on here too, just let us know. We can accommodate that. That's not a big deal. Gets me ready to do my retirement job, which is going to be sportscasting for Sports Channels. ESPN is firing everybody.
They did clean house.
Listen.
Yeah, a lot of folks. So how do we want to do this? Do we just want to just throw out a chord and start talking? I mean, we can. Well, how about we start with let's start with the defending champs. Since they're the defending champs, they can go first.
Oh, we could go in the order they finished last season.
We can do that. That's the thing.
Let's do that.
All right, I'll let you pull that out and we'll get started. So
I have it memorized.
Look at you.
Just kidding. I don't.
I probably could do it.
I could at least do finals, probably.
Yeah.
But
I could probably do it. But the time I missed one group, somebody in the comments, you actually, this group finished better than this. And,
that's true.
I do have a life. I do have a life outside of band. So there it is. All right, so we're going to start with the Blue Devils doing their show, The Cutouts. Zach, I almost said the other one because you said that. They did their show, The Cutouts. For the first time that I can remember in a while, the props are actually colored. They are not white.
It's true.
Listen, I'm sorry. That show is fire.
It's good.
It's fire, and I'm mad.
I was sitting there watching it, and I'm like, "Damn it! Just give him
exactly.
Just give it to him already." I mean,
it's really good right now.
Well, they're always good early,
and they are. But at the same time, what makes me worry is like everybody else is noticeably, let's just say, dirty. I don't think anybody just like is god awful suck or whatever, but I don't want to say that, but everybody is dirty.
Yeah.
And while BD is still dirty, it is the less dirtiest group. I mean, you're like looking for it at this point. At least I was when I first watched it, and I was standing up when the show was going. I don't remember what exactly I was doing. I think I was cleaning something up or whatever, and while the show was on, and then I just stood there and watched it, and there was moments where I was just like, I was like this close to just turning the TV off. I was like, this is some bull. This is like, they hit so many sections, and the battery. I was like, okay, this ain't last year. I was like, this is nuts. Well, and I was like,
they even announced last year that the battery was pretty young.
Yeah, and everybody knew that, and I tried to make the point to everybody. And tried to tell people, I was like, look, man, you can have your favorites and say this, that, and the other. I said, by far, BD probably had the youngest with most new members in the group, and they still was stomping folks. I said, if that ain't a threat that people are not paying attention to, in a sense, I was like, I'll be worried, because you're going to tell me, okay, y'all got that many rookies, and you're still top 3. Even this, like, they did I don't think it was an interview, but it was like a little video snippet or whatever of the center snare talking about how it's his second year and all this kind of. I was like, man, get off the screen. It's like, this ain't even fair. But that whole show, BD, well, I mean, it's so frustrating.
Well, it's a. I don't want to say formula. I hate using the word formula, but this is what it is. Like, you know what you're going to get from them, and they just do it so well. Guard guards take
Guard is mad.
Yeah.
Guard is mad. They tired of Boston. I'm sorry. And I call that too. I said, if y'all gonna get sit up here and get sick of SEV's percussion, y'all about to get sick of Boston's color guard, and it's coming.
Yep. I'll say, like you said, there's definitely a recipe that they follow in terms of design and things like that. And some years it's hit or miss. Like some years, like I can really dig it, and other years I'm like, it's still solid and it's still good, but I have other shows that I think are better put together and such. But this is one of the years where I enjoy it, and that's with me trying to hate it on purpose because it's them.
Exactly. And that's sad.
I mean,
But no,
I'm
it's
just
funny,
being
but that's
honest.
so true.
I mean,
Because I ain't
it's
gonna lie, I did too. I was like, man, I don't want to like this at all. And here I
right.
am screaming up and down like it's a
Mm-hmm.
football game or something, watching the TV. I was like, this is ridiculous.
Yes. But yeah, I mean, I did see something cool where they were talking about their uniform, and their uniform is made with cutouts from past shows. Like, they've got the
Mm,
yellow sleeve from Ghostlight, the yellow glove. They've got the pink um, sash kind of looking
yeah.
deal with the cape. That's from Metamorphosis or
Okay.
Metamorph. And like, there's little things within their uniform that is like a nod to previous years and stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, I mean, it's just
Even
it's like the LeBron James argument. You can't take anything away from him, but I'm tired of seeing him on the news and on Sports Center and
he going
ESPN.
and it's like
It's
they
like Tom Brady.
yeah, they
It's
won't make
like
him the anybody else the face of the NBA. It's like, come on, y'all.
yeah.
Come
But
on.
I mean,
But
I guess I mean they're
they even
just
had some circle drill at the end. I said, okay, BD,
man.
They, like I
look at
said, they
y'all
can.
doing some circle drill.
Well, and that's the thing. They've done stuff like that before. They can do
Yeah,
whatever they want to do.
they really can.
It's just a matter of when they want
They
to do
do.
stuff. Um, and we'll talk about the other groups later, but it's just the things that they do well. I think right now the advantage that they have over everybody is they make the hard stuff look really easy.
Hmm.
Musically, from a musical standpoint, they make the hard stuff look easy, and then from a visual standpoint, just strictly marchers or whatever, um, their technique is really taught well across the board.
It's so
Like,
Hmm.
defined.
you
It's
know,
nuts.
yeah, and I
But I'm
think
gonna
that's
put that
go ahead.
they they don't march that much, like as a core. Like there are a couple moments where I mean, and when they're doing their thing, it's like damn.
Hmm.
But a lot of times they spend a lot of time running and like doing this
Hmm.
number or doing some weird dance, and
And
then they run over here,
and
which I mean,
a lot of people have said that. It ain't just
but
you or anybody. A lot of people would agree and have said
other
that
groups.
before.
And I'm not trying to be an old head boomer that's like they don't ever march and play anymore. Blah, blah, blah. Like I'm cool with the times and like yeah, when we're not playing, let's go to suitcase or
Mm.
carry position and do this cool stuff. Like I'm not bashing that at all. But sometimes like as I watch like some of their shows, I'm like, hmm, maybe that's why their visuals so good is because there's not very many times where it's just straight up. Here we are.
But
Everybody's.
I think also why their visuals so good is because those spaces that they're not doing that, some of their
Mhm.
body stuff is outrageous, and
Oh,
they're the
I
most unified bodywork
absolutely.
group that I've
I
seen.
mean, they hit a pose like this, and everybody's
And it's
pinky is
like
bent to the same degree.
you can
Yeah,
go with a
E-
ruler and
Exactly.
and like I said,
Exactly.
and that's the
how.
thing that they do early that nobody else
Hmm. That's what I tried to tell my
really
kids at
does.
camp. I'm like, if we make this a habit now at camp, we don't have to go in October and waste time teaching you this stuff
Hmm.
because you should have been doing it from July.
Hmm.
And when it's October and you're still not doing what you're supposed to be doing with our technique and fundamentals, I'm going to say, remember in July when I told you to make it a habit now? Well, here we
Hmm.
are. And instead of us adding something cool here, we got to go back and teach you how to march at 8 to 5. But I'll stop.
Yep.
But yeah,
Happy
BD.
4th of July, everybody.
Yeah,
Hey.
but yeah, BD's off to a great start. Um, now, I will say, I said this last year. It is beatable. I think there's a
Hmm.
couple of cores that could catch them if they can get clean. And I'm not saying BD sucks. I'm just saying,
Mm.
like, if somebody
And
brings their A game,
here's the thing that might hurt BD is they're by themselves for almost half the season with nobody to compare to. Because usually
And
they got SCV every now and then where they find each other. But until we get to Atlanta, Texas, they're not going
Texas
to
comes before
see.
Atlanta.
Okay, so Texas, they're not going to see any of those groups that have a shot at beating them. And
Mm-hmm.
so it's like if they've been scoring here, and then when they finally meet up in Texas and they're here and they don't have anything left to do, but they'll figure something out.
Yeah. So
I'm
To
sure we'll all
me,
be pissed at
to
at
me,
championships and they'll have gold again, so it's fine.
yeah. To me, luckily, it for now, it seems like the scores are comparable from the West.
and that's the kind of the scary thing.
Yeah.
Let's segue that into our next group, which is Boston.
Okay.
Um, who I think so far this year, I have to double check, but I think they have the highest score of the year so far.
They so far right now, yes.
Um,
I think they're sitting at 78 something.
Mm.
with their show White Will,
Mm-hmm.
they came out and just said, yeah, we here.
Yeah.
I mean,
Basically, saying what I'm saying.
they're I will say when I was watching it, I did kind of get lost in the middle, and I was talking to you about this.
Mm-hmm.
I think the percussion feature was a little bit too long for my liking, similar to last year.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get back into it until the very, very end. Like the opening segment was solid. I really
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed it. And then I kind of got lost, or they lost my focus and attention. And then I got back into it at the end.
And I did the same thing.
I don't know if it's a
And then I
pacing
think
thing with them
I went into critical mode because
Mhm.
I said it last year. They done wrote this long ass percussion break, and the goddamn front ain't doing nothing. It's a whole lot of drumming. I'm gonna leave it there for now. That's all I'm gonna say.
I
But
think
I feel the same way as Zay. It's like, all right, we get it. Let's get some of that back in here. What is happening? It's too many notes, Boston. Okay.
Oh.
we guys, we will do a perk talk at some point where we can talk 45 minutes about this. So we will make sure that happens. I actually understood. I actually got the middle section, and I kind of appreciated it because I was at first I was trying to figure out, okay, what is the prop? Is the prop the whale or is the prop the boat? And I think it's both.
It's both. I
made
that
But
decision
I thought the core
too.
was the whale in the water.
But I think they just extend it so you can see it more visually.
That, and if you notice, if you remember, they do in one set where they actually make a whale.
Yeah.
The tail,
And then,
yeah.
And
that was
then
cool.
the prop, if you notice that, see that tower thing with the with the circle, the basket, that could be either the basket of the ship, or that could be the water spewing out the top of the whale.
I really think is what you said, because I was trying to make the same assumption because of how apart they were keeping the props in a certain way, and it was so distinct that I was like, okay, that's the ship.
Yeah, I think
I get that now, because I was like, what are these props?
Mm-hmm. I think it's both, and that's why I like the middle section, because with the Wellerman's song and then the other sea shanties that they do, they're either they've either just sailed off, or they're getting ready to, and they're just having a good old time in party section. So for me, that actually made sense. I actually got that. So I was just like, so that kept me engaged in it. We've touched on the percussion, the battery stuff, and that I understand when you got something that's strong, you want to showcase it. You want to showcase it, but man, it's a lot. It's dense, and it goes for a long time.
Oh, we need. I'm sure he's probably listening because he always does. I is it? I want to say it's David. I think his son is in Boston
Oh,
core this year. If I'm right, I need you to tell us about this and what are we missing? If you can give us some inside details as to if we're right on what these props are and what they're doing or what the core is supposed to represent, give us the deets on
yeah.
that. I'm pretty sure
Well,
it's
I mean,
David.
yeah. Because for me, being visually impaired, usually props and uniforms don't mean anything to me. Like you have to
Hmm.
be able to show out on the field with the people to. But like for that, I could follow because I was worried a little bit about how they're going to tell this story in a way. But I think they do it. I think they do it pretty well. Guard is on another level. They throw in shit everywhere.
I already told you
Legit.
it's you're talking about
I
this is from sources that I've said that they got people from Pride, Blessed, and SCV up in that color guard and
You can
whatnot. It's like
tell.
okay, who finna beat that?
I
But
mean, in
but
there, go ahead.
no, I was just going to confirm and agree. It's like it's like last year. It's like I don't want people to sit and think that I'm just dissing the show or whatever because I actually really like it. And we've discussed this
Hmm.
before. Boston is fantastic at storytelling and stuff like that, but there are spots where it's just like, guys, what are we doing? What are we doing? And then, but as an overall, when I'm sitting there watching, I'm like, this is good.
Hmm.
I was
No,
like, this is good.
it's done really well. Their brass is playing really well as too. Like some of the licks there. I'm when I was sitting here watching it and hearing them do some of the stuff they're doing, I was just like, it's like this is the new crown.
I said the same thing. And they did something or other. They were playing this lick, and there was some body that they did with it, and I was like, that is Crown a
Mm-hmm.
hundred times over.
Is it them where somebody show? I'm pretty sure it was them. I think either the Sopranos or somebody were at a standstill and they played a lick, but then the rest of the horns did it was, and this is all like double tongue, triple tongue stuff like that, whatever. But the high brass stood there, but then the rest of the brass did the same thing, but they did it on the move. Like right after, I don't know if it was Boston or not that did. I'm pretty sure it was,
Mm.
but
There's only two groups that would have done it. It would have been them or crown.
but see, I went into my head too, like y'all did. I said, God dang, that's Crown all day. I said it, and I think they just did it better.
And the dangerous part is they have a better percussion section than crown
They do.
and a better guard.
So
That's the scary part. And I was just like, when I watched it, I was like, this is really good. This is really good. I think the reason why I like the middle, but I don't. I think the reason why the percussion stuff didn't bother me is because I knew something else was coming up, and I could work my
That's
best.
true.
I could work myself past it. But
Yeah.
it can be a distraction. It is, and we can
I
talk about
mean,
that.
keep in mind, I've only watched it one time, so
Yeah, I've only
there's
seen
a
it
lot of
once
other
too.
things I'm going to be looking for and catching on to
Yeah,
as
for
it
sure,
goes on.
for sure. But no, Boston's off to a strong start. Lots of really, really good stuff. But yeah, I mean, they have a top three guard. They have a if it cuts together, they have a top three percussion and easily a top five brass. They have a lot of stuff working for them just to stay in the middle spot. Um, cool. So next, if we're going in order, um, but we had to split them because we can't talk about two chords at the same time. I mean, we could, I guess, but that could get confusing. Blue Coats,
So mad.
Garden of Love. I'm a
it's
fan.
a lot
I
going
Oh.
on.
I
Hmm.
really like it.
Hmm.
I really like it.
It it gives a lot of the same vibes as last year, like with the narration and stuff, but it's not as
I,
I don't know
I
how to
think
put it.
it's a lot going on, but I don't think it's as cluttered.
Interesting.
I think their uses of props and the actual prop design
Hmm.
is probably some of, if not the best in drum corps right now, as far as a whole.
I'm still there on the field.
And I think why I'm saying this is because they spread it out.
Hmm.
It's spread
And
out.
it's not just out there to be out there.
Right.
Like it has a
It's
purpose.
got uses, and I think it what's the word? Frames the field pretty
Hmm.
It
well.
not only frames the field, it sets the field. It's like a
Yes.
It sets the
stage.
whole scene, yeah.
I mean, it's
And
like you said, it's theater.
yeah.
Mhm.
And
It's
I was like, I won't say like itching or drooling or anything, but I was like really, really wanting to hear that live, because I was like, because I'm always gonna do this, because I don't want to call myself an electronic junkie, but I really love electronics and I'm a fan of stuff like that. And
mhm.
first thing I'm looking at is I mean, they're to me are one of the masters of it in drum corps, and I'm looking at it. And, I mean, their setup in the front is crazy, and then they got
Mhm.
the whole speaker system on the field by the two props. I don't know if y'all noticed that as
Yeah.
well. And I was like, man, I want to be there to hear this.
Yeah, because you know in the stream you're missing stuff.
You're missing all kinds of stuff.
You're missing all kinds of stuff. And that's not because flow or anything. It's just
No,
because it's one of those
it's
things
the
that
nature of it.
when you're there and they've got audio
Cause,
going here
cause,
and there and bouncing back and forth and stuff.
cause I know it's crazy.
Hmm.
I know it has to be, and they blend it very well. I think a lot of people, if yeah, I mean, if you were like how we were last year, when you sit up close, you kind of get a different perspective. But no one likes to go to a movie theater and sit in the front row.
Yep.
If you're at a movie theater, you want to be more than likely up in the center and high up,
Hmm.
so you get all true surround sound. And that's
Yep.
how it is with them, man. It's like, no, I want to be in the middle somewhere where I can get all this stuff and
The
get the
bounce.
speakers from the field to come up, all, and just hear all that. It's just a lot of geniuses in that group, man.
It's it's they push. They're not afraid to push the activity forward.
No,
Like I for them, literally, I really don't think it's about the trophy for them. And I'm not saying that's the case for everybody else, but for them, I really just think we want to let's see what kind of product we can put out there.
Let's
It's
see what we can pull off.
yeah.
And that
Um,
and I mean, and they've been doing that since like I mean, I'm sure before then, but I think Tilt is the biggest like where everybody kind of realizes,
yeah, I
oh,
think
they're playing with stuff. They're trying to see what we can get away with, what can we use, and every year they just did a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more.
yeah, they're doing
And
it
I'm
with
also
accessible. Go ahead.
whoever did the meme of the Arizona green tea
Oh
can
my
and their
god!
uniforms,
If I
I am
had
done with
any
you.
liquid in my mouth, I would spit it out as soon as I saw that.
I was so
I
done.
listen. I
Oh my
paused it
God.
immediately. I paused it immediately. I didn't even finish it at first. I was.
Oh,
I said
nonsense.
no.
If you haven't seen it, just look for a TikTok about blue coach uniform for 2030.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah.
it's well worth your 15 seconds. Um, I think percussion is playing well again. I don't think the show gives them as much opportunities in the front ensemble as far as like the the use of everything. You know, last
Hmm.
year
Mm-hmm.
they had every drum that you could imagine down there.
Mm-hmm.
So I wonder, and I think that's what kind of put them over the top last year, um,
Well,
amongst other things. But I wonder if that's going to hold them back. Guards doing,
we haven't seen it and heard it yet.
yeah, this is true. Um, Guards doing a good job with everything that they're being asked. I thought the brass played really well. Their
Hmm.
show is not here we have to talk about difficulty last year's, and I mean, marching band. There's only a few things you can talk about, so you're gonna hear a lot of repeat conversation. Um, I think their show's hard, but it's in a different way. They have a lot, and I mean a lot of isolated attacks in that brass section. Just fat chords, and it happens. And then they play those repeated figures over and over again, and people are
That's
like, "Why
like
are
their
they playing the
thing,
same
man.
thing and over again?"
Yeah, but
Yeah,
if
do
you
you
get
know
out,
how?
You have any idea how hard that
you
is
get
in a
out, you ain't
listening
getting back
environment?
in.
Yeah, and it's not like they're playing it in a comfortable range. They're playing it in the upper esoteric part of their range.
Mm-hmm.
Or upper, sorry, tessitura of their range. Use the wrong fancy word.
Because I don't think spectators truly understand until
Unless
you're on
you,
that field. Because the simple fact of playing one note in a dome is enough. Because the echo is not the same. And we're just talking about a dome. So now imagine what Blue Coats is playing and then being across the entire field.
Mm-hmm.
And then saying, okay, make sure you're in time. With who?
Right.
Because that stuff is by far some of the
Well,
most nuts thing like
and
you do to a horn line.
every stadium that they're gonna be in is different. You know, some stadiums are concrete, some of them are aluminum, some of them have
They will have, I'm
open
sure they
bleaching.
got conversations.
Like it's
Because I'm telling you, when we went to finals, that was one of the first things they said. There's like, you get out there, be prepared. And it's like, watch, listen, look at feet. That's one of the things they always say, look at feet, blah, 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 this, and this. Because if you use listening as a sole entity for you to stay in time, you a different person.
you're in trouble. You're in trouble. But I mean, they're doing a lot of things well, and a lot. I've read a few comments that said, "Well, this ain't last year's show." Last year's show, the ending, the slow stuff with the guard, and we knew why they did it is the costume change. But that,
mm-hmm.
to me, that slowed down last year's product. This year, I don't ever feel there's a lull. Like I really think it's a solid product from top to bottom. I mean, we all love. I think the kid's name was Jacob on the guitar.
Mm-hmm.
We all love that section, and we love all that stuff. But they can't bring that back. Like you can't do that again. It's not going to be the same.
Mm-hmm.
Just like Troopers. Yes, the cello chick was awesome, but you can't bring that back again. You got to do something else. Because then people are like, "Why are they just using the same gimmick over and over again? You can't please everybody all the time." So for me, I just looking at it, I was just like, okay, this if they can keep their caption scores up and get credit for GE, I think they have the best shot of dethroning BD.
I can see that.
They are two very similar type of shows, and I think
they have. To me, I ain't gonna lie. I think they have a better ability to get cleaner quicker than Boston.
Yeah. In Boston, and I'm not leaving Boston out of that discussion either.
No,
but Boston's got a few that.
It's hard.
Yeah,
it's hard, man, and it's the name of the game. If you're gonna do it, it has to be clean.
Yeah.
Some of these folks, man, they like, oh, how you gonna be clean so early? Who are y'all watching?
And
y'all keep saying in these comments, it's clean now.
Yeah, as we talk about some of the groups towards the bottom half of what's going on right now, that's the biggest thing. It's just they have a spot or 4 in their show that's just like, did we rehearse that section? So yeah, Blue Coats.
I will say,
go ahead.
This is the only thing I'll say about Blue Coats. I'm really hoping it was my audio, but something threw me off with the trombone section.
Okay.
I don't know what is it. They lost me at a point, and then I don't know if it was just I couldn't put my finger on it.
Mm.
But I didn't hate it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember if anything. The only thing that kind of gave me a little bit of a worry, and I mean a little bit, is just some of the narration in the opener. I'm
Like too
hoping they
much?
don't. Yeah,
I get that.
but that could easily be cut. I mean, we saw cadets do it many moons ago. So, all right, fourth last year would have been Carolina Crown with Echoes of Camelot. The round table. What's the name? It's the round table. I said all the words.
The round table Echoes of Camelot. Yeah.
I said all the words. I just didn't say the right
wrong
word.
sequence.
Yeah, it happens. I do like it. I do.
It's very Crown.
It's very Crown. Dare I say safe?
I was thinking it's very Crown. It's very safe.
Ah.
Now, don't get me wrong. I couldn't go out there and play half that mess.
No,
I'm not trying to. But compared to what they're up against, if they want a medal, it's not enough. And I hate that because I really like it, and I think it's a very, very Crown show, and I think they're due for. I think they're due for a really good, solid show like this.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I don't want to say it's missing
it's like
edge to it, but it doesn't. I want them to.
It doesn't grab you. It doesn't grab you.
Now that could change when I see it in person.
Mm-hmm.
See, everybody knows you feel Crown when they play. Like when they have those full ensemble moments, you're feeling it, and that may be complete. That may completely change my opinion of it right now. But I want, yeah.
I think it's also like when you say that. I think it's also a fault to the show design. And I know me and Sid have talked about this before. Is saying like, look, your perk can't be off the wall from the design. So the book is going to be what the book is going to be. Like if you got one group playing hardcore, edgy, notes, and then somebody else show design is about, I don't know, sunshine and rainbows. You can't be drumming all hardcore to that. I mean, you can have some difficulty. What the concept is will decide what grabs you or what you put out there, And what reminds me of that is people remember if no shot at being terrible or anything, but it's similar to when Mystique did Disciples.
Mm-hmm.
It was there, but there was really no like impact moment, like bro, this is Disciples. There was really no like that, especially after they came off of Hand to Man. So that's how I kind of looked at that with Crown. It's like, okay,
it's like you're getting the same flavor over and over again, and you're eating something, and you want that one
bite to just be it.
Yep.
Well, we like vanilla ice cream, but we like it better with Oreos crushed in.
Right. You want something that's gonna like grab you and just be like, that's it.
Yeah, it was, and I'm hoping, like you, Zach, that in person it does give you, grab you.
Mm-hmm.
But I wonder if they box themselves in.
Because I want to say when they did Relentless, that was when I was kind of on the fence on until I heard it in person, and then I was like, all right, this is. But I don't know. It's like I need it to be a little more.
Has some edge to it, man.
Yeah, I need it to be some. Yeah,
it's
I still like it a lot. I do.
Yeah,
I do.
And that's kind of the sad part about now we're doing this podcast. We get to watch the shows, and we will probably watching them way more than we typically do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if we sound frustrated, are disappointed. I don't want to use the word disappointed. I'm not disappointed with anybody, but it's just like we want more for them, and we're just trying to figure out what is the next thing that they can do to get there.
But see, here's one. My bad.
Oh, you good?
No, I was gonna say it kind of attests to what you said a while back. I think we said it on the podcast. Everybody caught up to their style.
Mm-hmm.
So those hard notes, those fast tonguing, those licks and everything are now blending because everybody's doing them. So that thing that made them stick out is gone now. And while they may still be, I guess you can make the argument they're probably still, at the top of doing it in general. It may not be enough to say this is it. Yeah. And they're going to have to dig deep. It's like what we used to, before they got rid of it, and, I keep making this reference, but before they got rid of Box 6 and WGI, setting a new standard. They're going to have to find something new that nobody's doing or people are scared to do, and then do it at a high level and get themselves back up there again. And that's what got them to go. Yeah. So maybe that could be it.
Yeah, figure something out. Right now, I got them outside looking at it for a medal. I think they're fourth. I think they're solidly in fourth. I don't think nobody's going to catch them.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
But they're in another gear to finish top 30. Fifth place last year with SEV. They are the cleanest group that we have seen so far. No mistakes.
Not an inch of
just perfection.
I don't know. I think
if Jesus wrote it himself.
I think intermission might be cleaner.
Listen, it's gonna be a battle. It's gonna be a good battle between those two, for sure, in the average class. So keep an eye on that. Sixth place was Cadets. And they're doing the show Atlas Rising, I believe. This is where Tier fell. TIER, not TEAR. It's a considerable gap between them and Crown.
Yeah.
I would say. Some moments in there, I couldn't tell you a lick of what the show's about.
I don't get it either. To me, for Cadets right now, them being Cadets is what's going to keep them there. As far as just complete the triad, man. Play clean, look good, and be solid. Because other than that, I'm the show isn't, in a sense, it's not hitting it right for me. I'm just kind of like, I watch and I'm just like, Cadets, I don't know, man. I don't know if this is it. No, but like I said, it's zero shot at the achievement. I think that's what they're going to do. They're going to achieve it well. But it's going to be one of those shows where it's like, man, I don't know. It's just, it ain't grabbed me yet.
They're doing some stuff well. And they didn't score too far behind Boston. So, but I don't know. I need another read or 4 on it.
Yeah, same.
At least minimum.
Same. And the leggings and gym shorts uniform.
That ain't it.
Like I said, I'd be like wondering where my tour fees went if that's what they handed me for my uniform for the season. I'm like, listen, I get it. Times is hard, but this ain't it.
Talk about that uniform.
Sorry. It's not the worst uniform out there this year, though, but it's.
All right.
Y'all gonna have to explain.
Was Blue Stars next?
Yes.
So Blue Stars in Absentia. Lots of really cool visual undertones with absence and things of that nature.
Yeah.
Some people are not about this show. They
Quick pause.
whether it's the talk, or whether it's the topic of the show, or just you know they finally got down to somebody, the whole well, they're blue stars, but they're not wearing blue. And here we go with that again.
Come on.
Um,
Oh.
I saw that.
I'm not
I'm
even
just
gonna
like,
waste my time or my breath on
yeah.
that comment.
Um, with that being said, very interesting show. I was wondering how they were going to portray that theme,
Mm-hmm.
um, and get it across. I really think some sound design things could help push that forward some more.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, I think they play well. There's a couple of sketchy spots
Yeah.
in there. Um, Visual seems a little cluttered, and I'm wondering if. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bit of dirty feet, but I'm wondering how much of that is uniform against all of the props that are on the field.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I don't wonder if. Uh, I think it was Ethan was talking to me. He was saying that they got some things staging wise that need to be fixed and
Mm.
rewrite some drill. He said that get some drill rewriting and get the brass in some better positions so that they get credit for stuff a little more than what they've got right now so far. So,
Yeah.
and I would agree with that, but I need to watch it a few more times too, because I'm gonna be honest, I was I don't want to say underwhelmed by it. I don't know. Just wasn't. I guess it was what I was expecting it to be. But also last year, it took me about a good 2 or 3 shows for me to really enjoy their production. So I'm not worried about them.
Yeah, it's. I think they're solidly in the 5 to 7 range,
Hmm.
with what they're doing. Like I said, just gotta. They will have some design element redos and retools
Oh
throughout the
yeah,
season just to make sure that gets right. But yeah, next Phantom or Cavies?
Phantom.
Phantom. All right. Man, I remember this a lot better than I thought I did. Um, so Phantom did their show Exogenesis.
Mm.
For me, this is probably the pleasant surprise. I mean, I was pleased with the top 3 for sure, but this group, I think they came out really polished. Um,
Yeah,
some very small
they're
musical things.
they're on fire right now.
Mm-hmm.
Like they come out and they're like, yeah, we're here.
Some very small
Like
musical things. Um, I would
if
love
it
to use this as their props.
yes, if it were to end today, I would have them fifth.
I don't think I'd argue with you with that. I
I
really don't.
think I think visually they're really solid right now. Their music is good. I hate the hats, but that's just me. Uh, yeah, I think that whatever Kool-Aid they were drinking at spring training, they need to bring that on tour with them because they have come out on the right foot, so to speak.
I mean, they are handedly beating. I mean, I think they have a show today, which is Monday.
Hmm.
Um, handedly, I mean, he put 2 points on Blue Stars. Um, so coming out hot, it's really good. It's a lot of really good stuff
Hmm.
that's going on. I wonder if we'll see if they can make any changes. A lot of their power sets, especially at the end of the
Uh-huh.
closer, doesn't leave a lot of room for a rewrite. Um,
Hmm.
so we'll see how that goes. But I mean, when they came out in the opener and went in front of the front ensemble in the opener, I was like, "Oh, they trying to grab you."
Hmm.
So lots of really good things happening from Phantom. Like I said, I agree with you. If I was to rank them right now, I'd have them fifth.
Hmm.
Just probably one of the more polished products that we've seen
Yeah.
And I think their score is representing how polished that product is. So, and then Cavies was that would have
Yes.
been okay. So Cavaliers doing their show Where You'll Find Me. Lots of speculation, worriedness about what they were going to do, what the show's going to look like. Sometimes anniversary shows are great. Sometimes um, they're not as hot. I personally really really like this show. Um, being a heavy Cavs fan in the early 2000s, um, for a long time, I really really like the show. Really really appreciate what they're doing with all the musical and visual nods to all the previous shows. It is dirty right now.
Hmm.
It's got a long way to go um, to get clean. There's some stuff in there. I'm just, whoo, we
Yeah.
need to
It
hit that again with a mitt.
either that or the water hose.
Yeah,
Hose it down.
which is weird because with and I saw Sadar Ranger. Usually you can catch some things. So I'm wondering, you know, I wonder if it's either too hard or they're trying too hard on some of those sections, and not just letting some stuff breathe and lie where it's supposed to. Um, you know, the battery has stepped up a lot compared to years past, and not that the battery was ever bad, but you typically had a lot of stuff where they would their front ensemble would carry them a lot. And I feel like their percussion section is a lot more balanced this year. Brass is a lot more controlled.
Hmm.
Brass is a lot more controlled. So really didn't notice guard a whole lot. Not to say that they did bad. They did good. I just didn't. On my couple of reads that I caught of them, I didn't really catch a lot from them. So, but I'm a fan of it.
What was it?
Cavies.
Sorry, something came up. Can't really say it on the cast, but yeah.
Okay.
But you said cabbies?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm intrigued. I'm interested. I dig all the stuff that they're putting in from past years and stuff like that and whatnot. It's some of the most difficult stuff I think I've seen them do.
Hmm. It's definitely very challenging right now.
Yeah. And if they remotely get it clean, they're gonna cause a lot of upsets.
Yeah. Yeah. They have the highest ceiling right now.
Yeah.
I think they have enough content there. If it gets clean, that they can jump a few spots. Like that's the group. Um, I could see their show at least 6,
Mm-hmm.
and if on the right night with a good run 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I think they can. I think they can catch Phantom if you
Yeah.
really buckle down. It's a big gap. It's 3 points right now, but um, we'll see what happens. Mandarins?
Yeah.
Dang.
Good show. Good show.
Yes. I'm here for
Good
it.
show. Props to Mandarins. Good job, guys.
Speaking of
gals.
props.
So,
Yeah.
Mandarins did a show called Centerman. Now, here's my thought when I was sitting here watching it. I said, is this Angels versus Demons
Close.
and
I said it too.
And Jagged Line at the same time?
It had a baby.
Same costuming. Where I think it's more. Whereas Angel and Demons was head to head the entire time. If you notice, like the chorus starts in the all white, and then they gradually all end up in the red. So they've all fallen into that sin world, I guess, so to speak. But I freaking love it. That there's some great stuff going on with that. Those props are freaking cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they spin
It's not
for a long time.
just about the prop either. Like I think they did a really good job last year having that huge prop and incorporating it and not making it just about the prop on the field.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but yeah, they've got some good stuff going on and have for the last couple of years.
Design game has stepped up a whole lot, and it
Hmm.
sucks. I hate it because one of the things that I enjoyed about the Mandarins and the Troopers and kind of the Pioneer is they were set on their traditions. Mandarins being the Asian culture and Troopers
Hmm.
being Americana and Pioneer being the Celtic stuff. I I I hope that one day they can do a show like that, but with the design qualities and skills that they have now,
Hmm.
just to see how that would turn out. Because Troopers figured that out,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
which I believe is next, right?
No.
No, I probably missed
Ah,
one. Who was next? Blue Knights?
Colts.
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 Oh, Colts were 10th?
Colts were 11th last year.
Colts.
Mariners were 10th.
I mean, there's a 10th. Oh, yeah, because we skipped one.
Yeah.
Um, and then Troopers were
Troopers
12th.
were 12th.
Wow, I thought Troopers were solidly in finals last year. Um,
Mm.
but yeah, I like the Mandarin show. Let me say it this way: I appreciate the Mandarin show. I might have to watch it a couple more times to see if I can tell if I like it.
Mm-hmm.
Once I said Angels and Demons in my head and Jagged Line, that's what I just kept looking for. So I might have to watch it again. They're not doing bad with it. Nothing. Wasn't sitting here like, oh god. But all right, Colts. Where the heart is. That opener needs some work. It gets better um, as the show goes along, but they're messing up one of my favorite songs of all time, and I don't appreciate it.
How dare you?
So much to the point where I'm changing my band's opener to that song
You
because
have ruined this for me for life.
I was like, we're gonna fix this.
Hmm.
um, I mean, it's a feel good show, but it's not as like it's not as soft as I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be like a really pleasant, you know, laid back, beautiful type of deal. And they didn't go there, which is fine. Um, once they get past the opener, it's execution gets a lot better. But
Mm.
there's just some stuff that's not lining up when they play Milano.
I I'm a little nervous for them right now,
Mm-hmm.
as far as them
That's what I was
keeping
gonna
that
say.
spot in finals.
That's what I was gonna say.
Now they do have the buffer of no Vanguard, but
It ain't a big one.
mm-mm, I
Cause
don't
you
know.
still got.
This time last year I was I was more impressed with them than I am this year. But
I think last year they were more polished at this point.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Way more
Hmm.
polished at this point.
Which doesn't say that they can't. I mean, it's the first week. I mean, we're being really critical, but um, not that they can't get polished. They have plenty of time, obviously.
So, um, so yeah, and then Troopers with their show to Last of the Sun. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. Coolest prop ever.
Get it? I
Coolest
like it,
prop ever.
man. I like the
Like when
show.
that thing started spinning, I was like, okay, that's cool. And it's
Yeah.
simple. It's a very simple design prop,
Hmm.
but
Mm-hmm. It's so
it just
effective.
has so effective. I think they're playing well. Um, but it's kind of samey for me throughout the whole program.
Is what?
It's kind of samey.
Same. Oh, same to you. I can
Yeah,
feel that.
As the kids say, it's mid.
yeah.
It's me.
It's giving mid.
Um,
I'm not hooked on it. It's solid. Do I?
Does it bring you joy?
Does it bring me joy? I like the harmonica. That's cool. Prop's cool. But yeah,
See, I dig it. I dig it because, like, first of all, I watch way too many movies, but I'm a sucker for stuff like that and the ambiance that they have, especially like in the beginning, just pre-show and
yeah,
all that kind of stuff. Like,
Mhm.
I'm just a sucker for all that kind of stuff and the different sound effects they use and
yeah.
the idea and how they bring everything together, and you can see what they're trying to do and this, that, and the other, and the perk is mad at somebody.
Perk's much improved.
If I am mistaken, this last show that they went to today, they got second in drums under Cavaliers. So it's like, okay, I see how y'all feel, troopers. So
Their
to me,
visual,
it's a,
their visual package killed them. They were third in
it's what's hurting them.
effect.
I can
Yeah,
believe
they
that.
third in effect, fifth in guard, fifth in visual analysis.
Yeah.
Second, like you
So-
said, second in drums.
So, okay, yeah. So they did get say. I thought I saw that, and
Good margin, actually.
they're playing. It's not last year, and it's safe. It's safe, but I think they'll get it really clean, and then they'll put some emotion behind it, kind of like they did last year. And it's by the end of the season, it's gonna be real solid, and who knows, maybe it'll scrape them back in the finals again, but yeah, I ain't mad at it.
All right. And then I think the next group in placement wise that performed was the Madison Scouts with the Soundgarden.
Oh, my scouts.
That's just I'll let you have
Tier.
it.
Single tier.
I don't know, man.
That prop
Ain't
is
looking
cool.
too swift.
Here's the thing.
Huh?
I like the
Prop
show.
is cool.
The prop is cool.
Oh,
it
when they
represents
played
the-
Black Hole Sun, that was probably the best part.
I do like how they arranged it. I wasn't mad at how they arranged that.
That's the best arrangement of the show. There's some other stuff in there that
It's,
I'm going to have to talk about this on the next episode.
yeah, because this is going. No,
but-
for real, because there's
But
a lot of
my
emotions.
problem with my problem with their show, I mentioned it with the coach. Cavi's going through it right now with some stuff. There's like 4 or 5 groups that the arrangement, I believe, is what's killing them. It's just not, especially the percussion part compared to what's being played. Like, I'm listening to these parts, I'm just like, the percussion might have been right, but if it's right, how is any wind player supposed to play with this? Like, we got to start, and I really noticed it in the lower tier groups, like some of the open class groups, and about this. Some of these groups are trying to do too much, and it's just like.
It's like they're seeing what it takes, and then they're making the attempt, but they're not understanding that you may not, no shot. Listen, understand what I'm trying to say. You may not have that talent for that, and that's okay. It's okay to challenge, but if you don't know for 100% that this is going to get clean, period. Because we've talked about this before. We pick on BD's percussion. It is their MO. Beginning of the season, they probably sound like a bunch of trash cans with firecrackers in it. by the end of the season, they're pissing everybody off because they're about to win. So it's like, what? That's the staff knowing, like, we know this gonna get clean. This gonna get clean. There's a lot of groups right now that I think they're probably already thinking about the fire hose. But like you said, man, I think this needs to be on another cache because these are my new boys and girls, and there's no way I'm gonna be able to sum it up.
It's a lot of cool moments that get drowned out because of the not as good moments from an execution standpoint. And I hope
they got a trombone feature too. I ain't happy with.
Just
That's
some
like
overplaying,
that's too muddy.
Overplaying, pinching of sounds. It's just some fundamental issues. Like I said, I like the show. I just don't like how it's being done right now.
Yeah,
but
I would agree.
Week one. Academy. Didn't see a whole lot of it, so I don't really have a lot to say about it.
I ain't mad at what I saw, but
I'm like the Colts with them. I'm worried. That ain't it.
Yeah, it's gonna take a couple more reads for me.
Yeah.
And then Pacific Crest. I think that was the last one.
I haven't seen them.
Didn't stand out enough for me to remember. I did watch it, but
I watched it, but
I can't remember.
It was,
and that's sad.
Yeah, it was. Here's the problem: it went after gold.
That's why. That's why.
Gold was good.
That's why.
I'm trying to figure out how BDB beat them because
they didn't.
They sounded like
I don't care what nobody say. There's no shot.
They sounded world class to me. I'm sorry.
There's no shot. That show was good. I was like, get out of here, y'all.
Yeah. So those are all the cores that went out this past weekend as far as world class. When we get a little bit of time, as we talk about the world class a lot more, we'll have a lot less to say. And we can get into some world class gold. I will say, look out for gold though. Yeah, I'm really impressed with that. BDB's not bad either, but I feel like gold's on another level. So there's that. All right, Zach. So what show should we be looking out to watch?
Oh, our one to watch for this coming week is going to be on July the 8th, and that is Crown Beat. So probably the juicy early season matchup happening there is going to be between Crown and the Bluecoats. So Impact.
That's gonna be nice.
Impact, Heatwave, Spartans, Spirit will be there in their return. Then Intermission will be there. I'm sure they'll be polished and ready to go. Music City, Cadets, Bluecoats, Crown. That's going to be a good one. I'm curious to see Music City's debut this week as well.
For lots of good things.
Yes. So
lots of good things.
That's our one to watch.
All right. So that'll be Saturday. Show's time. That's 7:30 Central, I think. Did I read that right?
Eastern?
7:30 Eastern. Yep, you're right. 7:30 Eastern, 6:30 Central.
I don't know if I was looking at the wrong one.
4:30 for Will. We'll come watch the whole Jumbo show.
If you're in Europe, it's yesterday.
Yeah. It's the only advantage.
So that'll be a good show. You may do a watch party with that if that's something you think you want to watch us do. Let us know in the comments below. Let us know what you thought about week one. Cores you are digging, cores you think need a little work, cores that you think just flat out need Jesus. But any commentary that you got about what's going on. Like I said, I can't preface this enough. I can't reiterate this enough. I know personally, I think we've talked about this. There's no show that we just don't like. Like all of the shows are good. They all have potential. None of them are just like, oh my God, what's going on?
Right.
but just after you watch so many shows, I know for me personally, I'm being a little more critical early. But when I
Mm-hmm.
go and watch these shows live later, especially at finals,
Mm-hmm.
like I am going to enjoy them for what they are. But I think to have
Yes.
talking points, we have to kind of look into the nuts and bolts of things and
Mm-hmm.
see what's separating these groups from each other. So don't take this as don't take anything we say as hate towards a group. It's just we're trying to discern, what's making everybody tick and all that good stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
but you can let us know in the comments below what you think about anything related to what we talked about today. You can find us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Um, uh, just posted an Instagram reel of me making a bold prediction that's not going to happen, but um, it was bold nonetheless.
That's
I
what they're
said
for.
bold. That's what they're for, man.
That's what they're for.
I could have been
Funny.
safe. I could have been like, SCV will not make finals. I could have said that. Of course, somebody who's not up on DCI would have heard them like, "Oh my gosh, how dare you say that?"
What?
Maybe I should have went that route.
$1 million. SCV don't make finals right now.
Easy money.
Million.
But yeah, so we got that going on, and then we also on Spotify and Anchor.fm. So lots of ways you can follow us and listen to us. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit the buttons, all the buttons, good buttons or bad buttons. We don't care. Just hit the buttons. Hope you guys enjoyed your 4th of July. Hope you made it to a parade. If you get a chance, go check a show out. If you can't, go check a show out by Flow Marching and then watch the show out.
Yes.
The rebroadcast is really good because you can watch it the
Yes.
next day
Mm-hmm.
and catch up on shows. So, like, I know for us, like, band camp's getting ready to get started and stuff like that. We may get home and not want to do anything, but we can catch it the next day if we really want to. So, all that good stuff. So, fellas, y'all got anything else?
Mm-hmm.
No? All right. Well, for me, Zach, and Chris, who is still across the pond, my name is Cedric. This has been episode number 44 of On the Back Hash, DCI
Whoa.
Week 1. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your week, and we are dut
Dut.
out.
Hold.